What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So, in this video, we're going to be, as you see in the title, talking about Trump, basically the president for sale. Um, as we are seeing more and more and more here lately, the man is, the art of the deal is apparently just being bought by everyone. Um, and no matter how corrupt it may seem or look, or, just be blatantly clear. Um, So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Thank you very much for joining me. Um, Everything is on the screen there. If you want to engage in any of my channels and stuff, you know what to do. Do the damn thing. So I first off want to apologize. Uh, I'm at home, uh, under the weather, so my throat is hurting and stuff. Got some sinus stuff going on. Like a cold. I'm supposing. Hopefully it's not any more than that. But anyway, so if my voice might be a little rugged. And but anyway, we're going through. So yes, Trump. As we, if it wasn't enough, uh, that he won the presidency with beside the richest man in the world, right? I mean, Elon Musk basically, bought and paid for his reelection to a large degree. And if it wasn't enough that he then allowed that man to, ransack our government and get his hands on all of our agencies and dismantling and firing people left and right, and just breaking apart everything that the agencies and the parts of the agencies that were that for the most part actually helping American citizens to a large degree. But besides all that, and regardless of all the stuff that he did in his first administration, with Kushner and the billions of dollars that he took in Saudi bribery, the countless amount of money that Trump got off of the Live Golf stuff, with Mar-a-Lago and the Saudis and everything. I mean, for all whatever, all that. Now we have just more and more blatant things happening with, um, recently, or not too long back, they basically did an executive order that pretty much did away with, um, inner corruption in Washington. I mean, like the idea that it can be persecuted or looked at or whatever, like just open, blatant corruption can now happen and nothing be done about it. Um, but now we have him going uh, to the Middle East and having talks with Saudi Arabia, having talks with uh, and others around, possibly even Syria. Um, and we have, first off, Qatar, which is a very, very, like, wealthy small nation in the world. It kind of goes under the radar a lot of times, and and while they're the ones that often have been in associations with talks, peace talks and stuff, with the whole Israel and Gaza thing, because they house a lot of members of Hamas, like the upper political members of Hamas, in the past, uh, in a way to have connection with, diplomatically, uh, for us and others to try to make deals and whatnot. That's the kind of the idea. But um, and while President Trump has previously uh, put down Qatar in, like, say, 2016, 17, for harboring terrorists and all these different things. It appears that he's kind of taking a different look at them now, especially since they offer up a $400 million luxury, like what is it, 747 plane for him to use as Air Force One. I mean, this is like the a luxury hotel in the sky, the most expensive, like s- souped up plane in the world. Um, and then afterwards, he basically will then just be able to like put it away in his collection of items that he has. And this was given to him, and he accepts with no like he I mean, to the point of even like berating the idea that he should not accept it. Like, you would be stupid, you know, to not accept it. And that to me is crazy. But okay, fine, fine. But then he turns around also, and while I personally don't completely agree with sanctions on countries, um, at least in the way that they're often used. There's a way to use them, just like there's a way to use tariffs and stuff that can be actually productive. But how we oftentimes use sanctions is very broken, and authoritarian, or like controlling of countries and their ability to do anything. But he announces that he's going to completely remove sanctions from Syria. And you go, well, okay. I mean, why? That this is kind of out of nowhere. Like this wasn't even. I don't think anybody really even thought it was on the agenda. I mean, what do we know about what recently happened in Syria? Well, you've recently had, the Assad government was taken out by what we know as a group of people that has a leader that was previously an Al Qaeda member. And while he supposedly is a reformed member, and we can have a discussion about that, um, he is sort of the de facto leader of the country at the moment. And although it was supposed to be kind of a temporary thing, it appears to be more permanent at the moment. Um, but he has basically made some moves here. Uh, and while supposedly being reformed, he apparently had some of his militant group or whatever recently took basically did a massacre of Christians and um, Ottawa, I think, if they're called, civilizations, um, killing many of them, including children and elderly and everything else, because the Ottawa civilization is like attached to the previous Assad regime. Like that's where he come from. And they were, I guess, in opposition the um, to the new man in charge, and they basically massacred them, killing many of them, like uh, killing them like execution style. Um, so he he still to some degree has no problem with doing those types of actions. But on top of that, the reason how he got that, how he's now getting the sanctions removed, is that he basically has, uh, made some deals with Trump. He wants a Trump Tower built in the country, in Damascus, if I'm not mistaken. The previously designated area in the Golan Heights, in southern Syria, that Trump in his first term sort of allowed for Israel to annex and take over from Syria. He is basically saying, you know what, Israel, you can have that. We don't need it. We don't want it. We don't care. Just have it. So he's basically bowing out to that. Um, and then on top of that, he's also looked at the recent deal with Ukraine that we've done in, the never ending, like, just confiscation of resources in the country. And said, you know what, we actually wouldn't mind doing the same thing. We will allow you to come in and take our resources and do what you want. So that's basically how he got um, Trump to do this deal, to remove the sanctions, just all willy nilly. And like I said, I don't, uh, I don't completely agree with sanctions, especially the way we use them a lot of times, because we cripple nations using them oftentimes, like we have Syria previously, like we've done in Lebanon, like we've done in um, Iran, like we've done in Iraq previously, and Venezuela. I mean, you name it. We've done sanctions and crippled economies using them in many ways. Attempted to do it in Russia, but China fixed that. Um, Russia's a little too big for uh, to cripple like that, but it just goes to further show that you know Trump is a will and deal man, and he's simple to the point that all you have to do is just kiss up to him, allow him to build a Trump Tower, and allow just to sell him stuff, sell him on anything he would like, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how wrong it looks. It doesn't matter how corrupt it looks. If Trump can make a buck, he will make a buck. I mean, look at the meme coin stuff that he's done, started right before getting in office, and how that is, the stuff they've been doing in the crypto scene. I mean, that's all blatant corruption. Um, it's just it's all the scam stuff that he's basically done on all his supporters, selling them everything under the moon to make a buck, and knowing that they would do it because it's him. Um, and also, of course, sucking up to Saudi Arabia as well, as always. And it seems to be coming out even more and more so about Saudi Arabia, the ties and stuff that him and his entire family have in Saudi Arabia. It is crazy how much connection that is there, and how much is with the law of live golf events, and how Saudi Arabia has been taken over, and getting into multiple athletic venues and areas to as a way of kind of whitewashing, so to speak, their atrocities and stuff in their own country. Humanitarian, uh, atrocities and stuff that they've done for years. I mean, we have that's what this man does. He Look at all the people that he praises and kiss ups to, sucks up to, has no problem with, but then turns around and berates others. I mean, think about it. He praises Vladimir most of the time. He's previously in the whole big thing with M Chung Un, whatever whatever the hell's name is, how you say it, um, from North Korea. He's previously said positive things about Xi in China. Uh, he openly and brazenly connects with Netanyahu with no problem. He praises the leader of Hungary. He praises the leader of Argentina. He praises. I mean, these are dictators, authoritarian, um, fascist dictators. Many of them, or either communist or dictators or whatever. They're all dictators. They're all men who, and now we see the guy that's previous Al Qaeda in Syria. You have the MBS in Saudi Arabia, which he's had connections to. Okay, all these people he praises, and these are authoritarian dictators that are harsh. El Salvador. These are all harsh dictator strongmen, so to speak, that you know uh, screw over and oftentimes their countries, gaining wealth from them, taking wealth from regular civilians, and on a lot of the cases, in most cases. And then who does he turn around and berate and put down? He puts down leaders from Canada. He puts down leaders over in the EU. He puts down Mexico's leader. He puts down you know uh, uh, all these leaders that we are supposed to be allies with and supposed to be like working along with, and these other places are not necessarily our allies in any kind of way. Only a few of them are considered allies, and that's just because of the connections we have and resources and deals that we've made in the past, um, mostly around oil and stuff like that. Of course, Israel being our own little proxy in the Middle East to try to um, hold everybody in the Middle East down uh, out of fear and control. I mean, this is what he does. Is how he and again, I have to put out there to those who support him. As I've previously stated, I want to make connections here, bring up topics and issues and stuff, and directly question to those who are supporting him. And yes, we can have these type of discussions, and some of the same uh, things have been done by previous presidents. No doubt, I'm not here defending any of them, but at the rate and quantitative like amount of blatant corruption that Trump is doing right now in this second term is nothing like what previous presidents have done. While bad, are, in the words of Trump, peanuts. They are peanuts to what Trump is doing right now and allowing to be done across the international stage, domestically and internationally. I mean, Trump brought with him to this conference in Saudi Arabia in the Middle East, I mean, a whole slew of CEOs from major corporations, including Elon Musk, so that they could wheel and deal with the Saudi Arabian government, getting deals. And what this is, he is using his presidency to will and deal for himself and his rich buddies. If you do not see it at this point, the blatant open corruption that is happening, all these things that he's been doing with announcements and stuff, and that's been messing with the stock market, causing it to fall and then jump and then fall and then jump. The most volatile that the stock market has been in, I mean, possibly ever. and already the questionable insider trading that's been going on because of those things. I mean, if it's not, if you are still defending this man after all of this stuff going on, then you just don't have the right anymore to talk about any corruption that Biden had, any corruption that Obama may have had, any corruption that the Bushes or Clinton or what. You have no right to talk about any of them anymore if you are not willing to accept and acknowledge the corruption and dealings that is going on unprecedentedly by Donald Trump right now and the people that he is surrounding himself with in this administration and all that they're doing. Why? What makes this man so special? What makes this man so amazing to you that you continue to defend the actions that he is taking? You're willing to overlook all the corruption and stuff for what? Because to be mean to immigrants, to take away women's rights, or to get to attempt to get God back in school. Like what is the what is why do you allow and think it's okay and praise this man when all he really is doing is using you as a puppet to keep him in office and to keep him or try to keep himself above water while he openly erodes the wealth and steals wealth from you and from the rest of the nation through deals and corruption domestically and abroad. That's what I'm questioning. That's what I want to bring up question to. Why? And this will be a continuous question that I bring up in many of my videos when I discuss different things that are going on and different perspectives of what's going on in our nation with Trump and all his cronies and the geopolitical like framing and dealings and everything going on up in at large. So let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think this is corruption for starters, I guess? And if you do, or rather if you don't, then why? If you do you continue to support it and why? And let me know. We can have a discussion in the comments. So thank you very much. And until next time, peace. Clear Talk. I'm out.